Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. I would like you to pause whatever you are doing for the next few minutes, because the information we are about to explore could genuinely alter the way you move, the way you feel, and the way you live for the remainder of your days. There is a fundamental reality that is rarely spoken about openly during a routine checkup. Your lower limbs are not losing their strength simply because you are collecting more years. Your legs are becoming weaker because nobody ever explained what you need to feed them. There is a massive structural difference between those two concepts. One is an inescapable sentence. The other is a direct, practical solution. Today, we are going to explore that solution together. We will look closely at 6 specific foods, ranked from helpful to absolutely transformational, that can help rebuild your strength, support your baseline muscle tissue, and return the unshakable stability and confidence you might have thought were gone forever. Before we open our master list, let us look at a piece of data that warrants close attention. A landmark study published by the Journal of the American Geriatric Society uncovered that adults over the age of 65 who experienced significant lower body muscle weakness faced a 72% higher risk of experiencing mobility limitations within 5 consecutive years. They also demonstrated a sharp increase in balance lapses, unexpected falls, and an early loss of personal independence. 72% is an immense statistical threshold. That represents nearly 3 out of every 4 independent individuals who could have intervened early but didn't, simply because they did not understand the connection between senior nutrition, muscle biology, and the aging framework. I will tell you right now, the number 1 food on this list is something you probably have in your kitchen right now. It is something you may have even been told to avoid, and something that researchers now believe is one of the most powerful muscle protective compounds available to humans over the age of 60. I am going to save that one for last because once you hear it, you will never look at your grocery list the same way again. But before we dive into the list, I want to ask you something personal. Leave a comment below telling me how old you are and whether you have noticed your legs feeling weaker, heavier, or less stable than they used to be. I read every single comment on this channel. Everyone. And your story might be the reason someone else finds this video and changes their life. Now, let us begin our countdown from 6 to 1, moving from powerful to completely life-changing. Coming in at number 6 on our list is a foundational food that surprises almost everyone I tell it to: eggs. I know you have heard the egg debate your entire life. They raise your cholesterol. They are bad for your heart. Put them down. Walk away. I am here to tell you with the full weight of current nutritional science behind me that this advice, especially for adults over 60, was one of the most damaging pieces of health guidance ever widely circulated. Because here is what eggs actually do for your aging legs. Eggs are one of the most complete sources of leucine on the planet. Now, leucine is an amino acid. Think of leucine as the key that starts the engine of muscle protein synthesis, the biological process by which your body actually builds and repairs muscle tissue. After the age of 65, your body develops what researchers call anabolic resistance. That means your muscles become stubborn. They no longer respond as efficiently to protein signals. They need a stronger trigger to get the same response. Leucine is that trigger. 2 large whole eggs deliver approximately 1.6 grams of leucine, which research found was sufficient to meaningfully stimulate muscle protein synthesis even in older adults with significant anabolic resistance. But here is what makes eggs special beyond leucine. The yolk, the part everyone told you to throw away, contains choline, vitamin D, and a remarkable compound called phosphatidylcholine that helps maintain the integrity of your muscle cell membranes. As we age, those membranes become more fragile, less capable of holding on to the nutrients that muscles need to contract and recover. The yolk essentially acts as a protective coating for your muscle cells. A patient of mine, Margaret, 74, came to me after her second fall in 6 months. She had been on a low-fat diet for over a decade, avoiding eggs completely. We added 3 whole eggs per day to her morning routine. Within 8 weeks, She told me she walked up her stairs without holding the railing for the first time in 2 years. Eat 2 to 3 whole eggs in the morning, ideally with a small amount of healthy fat. Light heat, gentle cooking preserves the integrity of the proteins. Moving to number 5 on our countdown, wild-caught salmon. If your legs feel heavy, if they cramp at night, if they ache when you wake up in the morning, there is a very good chance that chronic inflammation is quietly impacting your muscle tissue while you sleep. Wild-caught salmon is one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory options. The active compounds here are EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids. Think of inflammation in your muscle tissue like a forest fire. It starts small, burns constantly at a low level, and over years and decades it impacts the muscle fibers, the connective tissue, and the nerve pathways that send signals from your brain to your legs, telling them to move. EPA and DHA chemically alter the inflammatory compounds that your body produces in increasing amounts after the age of 60. A study tracked adults over the age of 65 for 18 weeks. The group that consumed omega-3 fatty acids, equivalent to approximately 3 servings of wild salmon per week, experienced a 22% increase in muscle protein synthesis rate. But salmon has another gift for aging legs. It is one of the very few dietary sources of vitamin D3, the active form of vitamin D that your skin can no longer produce efficiently after the age of 70. Research found that a lack of vitamin D, which affects an estimated 77% of adults over 65, is directly associated with muscle weakness, impaired balance, and an elevated risk of age-related muscle loss. One serving of wild-caught salmon delivers up to 988 international units of vitamin D3. The recommended daily minimum for adults over 70 is 800 units. You get it in one meal. Eat salmon 2 to 3 times per week. Wild-caught is critically important. Farmed salmon has a dramatically different omega-3 to omega-6 ratio and does not provide the same benefit. Pair it with a handful of dark leafy greens to maximize the synergy. Number 4 on the countdown has an almost mythological reputation among longevity researchers: spinach and dark leafy greens. I want you to think about every elderly person you have ever seen who moved with grace, who got up from a chair without pushing off the armrests, who walked without shuffling. Dark leafy greens were a regular part of their diet. After the age of 75, your body loses approximately 35% of its ability to recycle nitric oxide, a molecule that acts like a traffic controller for blood flow in your legs. When nitric oxide levels fall, your microcirculation feeding your quadriceps, your hamstrings, and your calves begins to congest. Nutrients cannot get in, and waste products cannot get out. The result is muscles that fatigue faster, recover slower, and shrink year by year. Spinach, kale, and arugula are loaded with dietary nitrates, which your body converts back into nitric oxide through a process involving bacteria in your saliva. You are essentially using food to bypass what aging has taken away. A study found that nitrate supplementation at doses equivalent to about 200 grams of spinach improved skeletal muscle efficiency in older adults by 19%. The muscle didn't grow bigger, it simply became more efficient at using the oxygen and nutrients that were already arriving. Think of it like upgrading the fuel injection system in an old engine. Spinach is also extraordinarily rich in magnesium, a mineral that 68% of Americans over 60 are chronically lacking. Magnesium is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, and among the most critical is muscle relaxation. When your legs cramp at night, when your calves seize up, that is almost always a magnesium signal. 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers 157 milligrams of magnesium, roughly 37% of your daily requirement. I had a patient named Robert, 71, who came to me with legs that felt like they were filled with concrete every morning. We switched his approach to 2 cups of sautéed spinach daily with olive oil. 6 weeks later, the concrete feeling was gone. Always cook your greens in a quality fat. If this information has already opened your eyes, please hit that like button right now. It tells the platform to share this video with more seniors who need exactly this information. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it now. Every week, I bring you clinically grounded, practical health information designed specifically for adults who want to live stronger, longer, and on their own terms. Now, number 3, Greek yogurt. Most people think of yogurt as a light snack. What most people do not realize is that full-fat Greek yogurt is one of the most anabolically powerful foods available to an aging human body, and it is dramatically underutilized as a muscle-building tool in seniors. A single cup of plain full-fat Greek yogurt contains approximately 17 to 20 grams of high-quality protein. And critically, it contains a specific profile of amino acids including leucine, isoleucine, and valine. The 3 branch-chain amino acids are directly absorbed into muscle tissue with remarkable efficiency. The protein in Greek yogurt is highly bioavailable. It goes directly to where your muscles need it. But here is the piece that truly elevates Greek yogurt. It contains live probiotic cultures, which influence something researchers call the gut-muscle axis. This is a relatively new field of study, and the findings are extraordinary. Research found that healthy gut microbiome populations in older adults were directly correlated with greater lean muscle mass, better leg strength scores, and faster recovery from physical exertion. The gut, it turns out, is regulating how much of that food your muscles can actually use. After the age of 65, the gut microbiome typically becomes less diverse, less robust, and less efficient at extracting nutrients from food. Probiotic-rich foods like Greek yogurt help restore that diversity. For maximum benefit, consume your Greek yogurt within 30 to 45 minutes of any physical activity. This is your anabolic window, the period when your muscles are most receptive to protein signals. Add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed for additional benefits. Always choose plain full-fat versions, as low-fat versions typically replace the fat with added sugar, which drives inflammation. Now we are at number 2, beets. Beets are not the first thing that comes to mind when you think about building strong legs. But the research behind beets and physical performance in older adults is so compelling that major sports medicine institutions have now integrated beet-derived compounds into recovery protocols. The mechanism centers on those dietary nitrates I mentioned with spinach, but beets contain them in concentrations that are roughly 3 to 4 times higher per gram than any leafy green. One medium beet contains approximately 300 milligrams of dietary nitrates. When those nitrates reach the oxygen-depleted environment of working muscle tissue, they are converted into nitric oxide with extraordinary efficiency. And the result is a wave of blood vessel opening that floods your legs with oxygen and nutrients in a way that aging vascular tissue normally cannot produce on its own. A study found that older adults who consumed beet juice before moderate exercise showed a 38% increase in blood flow to the regions of the brain associated with motor control. Beets didn't just improve what was happening in their legs, they improved the brain's ability to control their legs. Beets are also rich in betaine, a compound that reduces harmful buildups in the blood that affect approximately 47% of adults over 60, which are associated with accelerated muscle loss, vascular damage, and impaired mitochondrial function. The mitochondria are your muscle cells' power generators. Betaine helps clean the chemistry that protects those generators. My patient Elena, 68, came to see me walking with a cane. We added 2 roasted beets to her lunch 4 days a week, alongside a short daily walk. Within 12 weeks, she returned to my office without the cane and was gardening again. Roast your beets at 400 degrees for 45 to 60 minutes to concentrate the nitrates without destroying them. You can also blend raw beets into a smoothie with a small amount of citrus juice. The vitamin C in citrus dramatically increases nitrate conversion efficiency. Do not boil beets for long periods as water-soluble nitrates leach out. And now, number 1, extra virgin olive oil. This is the food that researchers have identified as one of the most powerful muscle protective compounds available to humans over the age of 60. It contains a compound called oleocanthal. Oleocanthal is a natural plant compound that functions in your body by inhibiting the same inflammatory enzymes that traditional prescription options target. The difference is that oleocanthal does this without the stomach and kidney strain associated with long-term pharmaceutical use. But the muscle-specific benefits go far beyond anti-inflammation. A landmark study followed 840 adults over the age of 65 for 3 years. Those who consumed a minimum of 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily showed a 37% lower incidence of sarcopenia, which is the progressive involuntary loss of muscle mass and strength. The polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil appear to directly stimulate the master switch for muscle protein synthesis inside the muscle cells. This pathway is the exact same biological network that resistance exercise activates and that youthful hormones trigger. Olive oil polyphenols turn on that switch independently. They do not require exercise. They work in the cell regardless of what else is happening around it. After the age of 70, your body loses a significant portion of this pathway's sensitivity. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the very few dietary compounds that appears capable of partially restoring that sensitivity. Think of it like recalibrating a thermostat that has been set too low for too long. Furthermore, research found that specific polyphenols found abundantly in extra virgin olive oil protect mitochondrial DNA in muscle cells from oxidative damage. As we age, our mitochondrial DNA accumulates errors. The result is muscle cells that produce less energy, recover more slowly, and eventually stop working altogether. Olive oil appears to slow that process of degradation by neutralizing the reactive oxygen species that cause the damage in the first place. My patient Thomas, 81, a retired Navy commander, had not been able to walk more than 2 blocks without stopping to rest. His diet was very low-fat and very lean. We introduced 4 tablespoons of high-quality extra virgin olive oil into his daily routine. 2 in the morning over eggs, 2 at lunch over vegetables. At his 6-week follow-up, he walked 4 blocks without stopping. At 12 weeks, he was back on his bicycle. At 6 months, he completed a 2-mile walk for a veterans charity. 4 tablespoons daily is the evidence-based target. Use it as your primary cooking fat for low to medium heat, or drizzle it generously over vegetables, eggs, and fish. For maximum absorption, pair it with foods that contain fat-soluble vitamins, like eggs, salmon, and spinach. These 6 foods work together as a system, and when you combine them consistently, the cumulative effect on your leg strength, joint comfort, and mobility is dramatically greater than any single food can achieve alone. Buy extra virgin olive oil in dark glass bottles from reputable producers and look for a harvest date on the label. Fresh olive oil is medicine. Let us bring this home for you because I want to make sure you leave here today not just informed, but genuinely moved to act. You were not built to become a passenger in your own life. You were not designed to hold the railing going downstairs, to skip the family hike, or to decline a dance because you are hesitant about your lower body stability. That is not the destiny written into your biology. It is never too late. Muscle tissue in the human body retains its capacity for growth and repair well into the later decades of life. The body wants to rebuild. It is waiting for the raw materials to do so. Your job starting today, starting with your next meal, is to give it those materials. Whole eggs, wild salmon, fresh greens, probiotic Greek yogurt, roasted beets, and 4 tablespoons of the finest olive oil you can find. These are available in virtually every grocery store in the world, and they have the power to give you back the absolute freedom to move through your own life on your own terms, with strength, with confidence, and with joy. The references for the concepts highlighted in this video are listed below. Share them with your care network and use them to advocate for your health. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, do that right now. Share this video with someone you love. Leave me a comment below and tell me which of these 6 foods you are going to add to your diet first. Until next time, eat well, move daily, and never stop believing that your best years are right ahead of you. Take outstanding care of yourself this week.